All right, ladies and gentlemen, you should have Striped Umbrella open, and you should have the About Us page up. We are going to be working with our background images, and we're going to take a look at different ways that we can add our background images. We can take a look at having a tiled background image when you have different images and how they're going to appear. So in order to do our background images, we're going to go ahead and go to Modify. And then under Modify, we would go to Page Properties. Under there, you're going to have a pop-up window that comes up. And you're going to make sure that you're under your appearance for CSS. Notice you have an appearance for HTML. And under appearance for CSS, you have an option right here that says background image. And you're going to browse. And then we need to find it on the network. So we're going to be really good at finding things on the network under the Student Shared, SHS, Classes, Grassel, Web Design, Dreamweaver, Chapter 4, Assets, and we're going to do Umbrella Back. That's going to be the first one. Notice before I actually select it, or double-click on it, on the right-hand side, it gives me a preview of it. And when I notice the preview of this image, I can see right here it's 85 by 81 is the size, and it's a GIF. And notice the background. Do you really think it's gray? What do you think? Transparent. And why would it be important for it to be transparent? Be able to see through? Right? So GIF does support transparency, so a little bit of your file type on there. So you can go ahead and click on OK. Once you've browsed for it, notice once I browse for it, when I go back in here, it says Assets, Umbrella Back GIF, because we have it set up that on our site being defined, all of our images are going to go into our Assets folder. So then I can go ahead and click on Apply. And when I click on Apply, you have your wonderful umbrellas repeating all over the place. Okay. Now, the reason I clicked on Apply instead of OK is because I can see a preview of it. I can move this out of the way and be like, I think the umbrellas right here look really good, but I think it makes it very difficult to read the text. Would you agree? Like this paragraph text? People will be like, all right, I'm not going to read, I just see umbrellas. Let's choose a different image. So I'm going to go back under there, and I'm going to do that, and I'm going to choose Striped Back. In that preview of it, notice it's up here is a GIF. It's 125 by 81. And then I'm going to go ahead and click on OK. And then I'm going to click on OK again. This one, I think it is easier to read your text on. So the umbrellas were cute. I don't think it worked very well. One of the things I'm going to think about, though, is what do you think? Would it look nice? Would this attract a lot of people having these soft pastel colors in the background? I'm going to guess a lot of male people that would visit our page would be like, I don't really like it when click off, just because of the color choice. So we looked at adding a background image, but let's go ahead and take it off. And again, we do that by going Modify Page Properties. And then under Appearance CSS, all I'm going to do is that background image information asset striped background, or back.gif, I'm just going to hit backspace so there's nothing there, and then I'm going to click on OK. So when I do that, I have now a white background. So I set the background and then I changed it. Now, what happened with me going through and adding those background images? No, my background's white. What happened to my site? Ah ha ha ha. If I take a look at my assets panel right here, if I go to my images and I hit refresh, Look at all of those images now. If I put my entire site, if I publish my whole site, what's going to happen? All of those images that we went through, we looked at and then decided nah and took it off, they are still in my assets folder and it's still here for images. You can either view it under your assets or you can view it under your files panel and then expanding out your assets folder. Either way, we have a bunch of extra stuff. And it's not good practice to have a bunch of files saved. Even though we're not using them, you're like, whatever, doesn't matter. It's not good practice because you're using up space that you don't need to. Okay? So we want to get rid of, I'm going to go in the Assets panel just so I can see them, the striped one, and I'm going to delete it. There's a couple different ways to delete. Would you agree? I can right-click. Right-click Edit's not going to take me to the right spot. It's going to launch something. It's going to launch Photoshop. So I can select it and hit the delete key, except my computer's loading another one. I can select it and then thank you, Cody. Are you able to hit the delete key and make it go away? Okay, neither's mine. Okay, let's go under Files and do it then. There's no right-click menu. Not on this one, there's not. So we are going to do striped back. We're going to delete. And it's going to say, do you really want to delete it? I'm going to say yes. We're going to remove umbrella back. And we have one more to get rid of. Do you know which one? No. Boardwalk, but there's two boardwalks. Remember yesterday? Which one did we insert right away? The PNG one, right? And then what did we do right in Dreamweaver? We made it a JPEG because it loads a little bit better. So then we're going to go through and we're going to get rid of the PNG. Don't get rid of the JPEG one. So I'm going to select Boardwalk PNG and then hit delete. So now we just reduced the number of images that we have located on here. And I'm just going to go ahead and hit refresh. So we should have Boardwalk, Clubhouse, C-Spa logo, banner, and striped umbrella logo. Are we agreed that those are our images that we have in our assets folder? Or if I look under my assets panel and select images, that's what we have there. The next thing that we have to take a look at are our non-safe web colors. So under our assets panel, right below images is an option to click on colors. So if I click on colors, notice it breaks it down for us. We have Web Content Accessibility Guidelines, or WCAG version 2.0, states that a website should not rely on the use of color alone. This means if your website content depends on your viewers correctly viewing a color, then you are not providing those people who cannot distinguish between certain colors or do not have monitors that display color. Be especially careful when choosing color with text so you provide good contrast between the text and the background. If you're typing the code in a text box, it's better to use a reference colors as numbers rather than names. For example, use #FFF instead of white. Using style sheets for specific color formats is the preferred method. So what we're going to do is we can see here do you have any non-web safe colors? I do. Do you or do you not? I think I accidentally clicked on one, so that's why mine is on here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to have to find where I did that. I think I clicked on, when I inserted the placeholder, I clicked on it and showed you where it could go, and then I clicked back off. But it shouldn't be on there. So I will come back on that one. I'll have an answer for you in a little bit. Because I can't just delete it, because what happens if you delete just a color? Where you put it, what would it go to? No? It would go to nothing. It wouldn't know what to set to, so you can't just delete it like we could their images. So let me think on that. I'll get that fixed for you. You don't have the issue, but I do. The last thing that we're going to work on is going through and making images links and using image maps. So what we're going to do is we are going to go on our About Us page. We're going to go right after our striped umbrella logo on the very bottom. So I don't have it selected. I had it selected, and then I moved my cursor, used the arrow key, and went one to the right, so my flashing cursor is directly to the right of it. In yours might appear a little bit differently because of what? Monitor size, correct? So don't worry that mine is all the way on the left side and yours is wrapping under the Clubhouse image, just as long as your cursor is to the right. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to insert an image using our common toolbar on the right. And I'm going to insert an image, and I'm going to insert map small. It's going to pop up and give me my option to give me my alt text. My alt text should read map to the capital the striped umbrella, because that's the name of our business. So again, our alt text is map to the striped umbrella, capital M, capital T, capital S, capital U. Once you have your alt text down there, you can click on OK. Map small. Yep. Now, I want you to set your H space to 30 for that image. Okay, again, our alt text was map to the striped umbrella. And I want you to set your H space for map small to 30. Map to the striped umbrella. H space to 30. When I set the H space to 30, notice how it bumped over and gave you a little bit more space before your striped umbrella logo and the small map. Again, with the image selected, down here in my Properties panel, I went to H space and typed in 30, and 30 would stand for 30 pixels. So it's giving you 30 pixels of space to the left and to the right of the image. We can't really tell to the right, though, because there's nothing there right now. So your striped umbrella logo and your map small should be on the same line. Is your striped umbrella logo and the small map on the same line? It should be. Now, I'm going to go after the period in beachwear. I'm going to hit enter, and I'm going to type in a really short paragraph that reads, click the map below to view a larger size image. Okay, so what do we need that image to do now? Link to a bigger image, right? Okay. So what we have to do is I'm going to select that small image, and I need it to link. Now, all of the links we've done before have been to what? Pages. Would you agree? So we've linked to other pages, but we can do the same thing, but just link to a image. So what I want to do is right here in the link section, I'm going to go ahead and browse to File, and I'm going to go back on the network, and I am going to find under Student Shared, SHS, Classes, Grassel, Web Design, Dreamweaver, Chapter 4, Assets. You are going to find Map Large, not small. We don't want to link to the same size. We want to link it to a bigger image. So I'm going to go ahead and choose Map Large. And then go ahead and click on OK. And by default, what happens is I just linked to an image, so where did that image go now? Under my Assets panel. Do you see it under your Assets panel? Because we set up our site correctly, it automatically does that for me. It copies it from another location and makes sure it puts it in my Assets folder. So let's go ahead and save this page. And I'm going to preview it. So I'm going to click right here, and I'm going to preview in Chrome. So it's going to launch my Chrome browser. So what I have going on right now is I have, again, my Clubhouse image on the left-hand side. I have my Boardwalk image on the right-hand side. If you change the size of your browser window, you should see your text will wrap differently. Would you agree? Again, my screen size is different than yours. We should be able to check links for these links to work. You should be able to click on this image on the bottom. If you click on it, it should open up and replace that page you were just on with a bigger image. Would you agree? How do I get back to my other page? A back button. Now, what other links should work? Home, right? Because we made the home page. Okay? So home should link to us. What other page did we do? Spa. So if I click on Spa, my Spa page will come up. Except our Spa page doesn't have a nav bar on it, so I have to click back. And then I should be able to click on About Us, and About Us should work. So we have not done anything on Cafe or Activities yet. Would you agree? Okay. The other thing that you will notice when I take a look at this page, look at my tab. What is my Favicon? It's a blank page. If you had a whole bunch of tabs open and you saw a blank page, does that help you to know what's supposed to be up? So guess what we're going to learn how to do? We're going to go ahead and add a Favicon, okay? So we are going to do this outside of Dreamweaver. Are you ready? So I'm going to go to Computer. Okay, so I went to my computer, and again, I'm doing this outside of Dreamweaver. And I'm go under Student Shared, SHS, Classes, Grassel, Web Design, Dreamweaver, Chapter 4, Assets. And now, in our Assets, you should be able to find a file called, was it in Chapter 4? It was just in Chapter 4, not in Assets. We are going to use the icon called Favicon. Do you see right there, the little starfish? I'm going to right-click, and I'm going to copy. Okay, so we're just copying it. I now need to go under my file and find my striped umbrella, and I am going to paste it, not in Assets, but just under the folder called Striped Umbrella. So you think that made it work? We put the image there for us to use, and you will notice that the name of the file is called Favicon, and the file type is called an icon. So it's not an image, it's not a JPEG, it's not a GIF, it is a specific file type for our icon. What we need to do now is I need to go to my page here, and I need to go to my code. Are you ready to type some code? We haven't done that in a really long time. I am going to go at the end of line 4 code, where my meta tag, and I'm going to hit enter. So on line 5, I am going to type in a link, rel equals, quote, shortcut icon, end quote, and it will, do you notice that it's filling it in for you, href? So if you start typing it, it gives you your code options. Favicon.ico, type image /x icon /bracket. I'm trying to figure out how I can make it bigger for you. If you're having a hard time viewing it, especially third row people, if you look on page 4-27, it might be easier to type there. So I know it's kind of hard. It's that line right there I have highlighted. I don't know of a way for me to make my code bigger. X-icon, end quote, / there. But it is on page 427 that actually gives you, if you look in figure 27, should be exactly what it is. It's also in instruction number 3. Once you have that done, go ahead and save your page, preview it again, and you should have your Favicon appearing. Couple things. We have to make sure our Favicon is not in our assets folder. It is in the root folder for our site. And we need to make sure my href that I have listed right here, this word here has to match exactly what is listed in my files panel. So if I spell it wrong, it's not going to work. Favicon success? Kendra got hers. Brian, did you get yours to work? Nice. Got her? Haley? Kayla, how are we doing? No idea? Jeremy, success? Cody? All right. Riley, we're doing okay? Preston? Okay, once you get it working, okay, don't do this until it works. You're going to copy this line of code, and you're going to put it on what pages? Well, which pages do we have stuff on? Index and SPA. So I'm going to go to the index page, and I'm going to go on line 4, hit enter, and put that in so it's on line 5. And then I'm going to do the same thing on SPA. It's going to be right on line 5, right where it's going to be after that meta tag. And then I'm going to do all 3 of them, and I'm going to go to File, and I can actually go to Save All, and it saves all of those pages at once. So again, I copied that line of code from About Us when it worked onto Index and onto SPA. So now if I go to About Us and I go to my preview in Chrome, my Favicon is up here looking fantastic right here. And if I now click on Home, Favicon is still there. If I click on SPA, Favicon is still there. If I were to load the cafe page, it should be blank because there is no code on there. So the Favicon code needs to be loaded on each page. You can't put it in one spot so it loads for the whole site. Using Dreamweaver, that's going to be one of the codes that will be on the top. Okay? So your home page for Striped Umbrella should look like this. About Us should be here. And then from About Us, I can click on Spa. Eventually, we'll add that nav bar to our Spa page, though. Notice that that is missing yet, but we'll get to that. Questions? You rocked Striped Umbrella? Guess what you get to do next? Knock the rest of them out of the park. So we have on page 428, you have your Blooms and Bulbs. Blooms and Bulbs has a lot of directions for you. It goes on page 428 to 429. On page 430, you have your Trip Smart, and page 431 is going to be your Caroline's Creations. Just as a reminder, I am not here tomorrow, so what are you going to be getting? You're going to be getting your packet, okay? So I would expect the packet to be turned in to me, excuse me, by Friday. But you can certainly use class time on Wednesday to work on it. I would say for sure by Thursday you will have your grading rubrics in the folders for your 3 ones that we need to have completed. And they will be titled in the top, Chapter 4, and they will be a different color as well to make them stand out. Questions on what we need to work on? Go forth.